In communities across America, 911 is the number to call for emergency help. But this lifeline is fast becoming a tangle of misconnections and danger. Frank Courier reports on hang-ups with 911.
911, police emergency.
We've got a dead battery and we don't know how to jumpstart the car.
I wonder where I'd call and complain about the horn blowing.
We cannot help you with paying a phone bill.
Get off the phone. Is this an emergency? They're on the way.
But on their way to what? Of the nearly 100 million calls to emergency 911 last year, police estimate more than half were not life-threatening. Barking dogs and car alarms.
Menstrual cramps, hangnails.
Well, I've had people calling 911, wonder what time it is.
Toenails that need to be clipped, glasses that don't fit.
Created 20 years ago as a universal quick response to the public's demand for a fire truck or ambulance on call, 911 has saved lives and soothed nerves.
We're going to take her because somebody threw her out a third-floor window.
But today, 911 is a growing police and paramedic nightmare.
Adam 2282 and 1910.
We call it putting out fires. That's when you come to work all day long and all you do is answer calls. Yes. Did you call the police?
No, not me.
Police commanders point to the tyranny of 911 and in some cities the impact of 3,000 calls a day.
It's not the police chief that runs most police departments in America, it's the telephone.
Dial 911.
And it's little wonder.
It can save you more than time.
Awareness campaigns have conditioned Americans to think of 911 as a 24-hour all-purpose problem solver.
You call?
In Minneapolis, Debbie calls 911 instead of a taxi. Over and over, she'll tell the operator she's bleeding or can't breathe. What she really wants is a ride.
So the only reason you called us tonight is just because you don't have any prescriptions and you want us to take you down there?
Yeah.
So there's nothing really going on with you?
No, there's nothing really going on with
Okay.
You've got a $50,000 ambulance and 2 paramedics that are trained to handle life and death emergencies, giving someone a ride.
The logjam of bogus calls has pushed some 911 dispatchers over the edge. In Los Angeles, hear a man frantically trying to report a gang shooting.
I'm going to get killed. Oh, yeah, there's blood everywhere. There's blood. Oh, damn. Oh, God, damn. Hey, have a nice day, okay?
Such desperate frustration has inspired a music video by the rap group Public Enemy.
So get up and get down. 911 is joking your town.
To help ease the overload, a growing number of police departments are studying ways to demarket 911 to discourage its use for anything but life-threatening emergencies.
Garden Grove Police.
In Garden Grove, California, chronic 911 abusers are being billed 99 cents a minute for an officer's time. In Portland, Oregon, 911 operators are hanging up on non-emergency callers.
Yay.
And in Milwaukee, police are reminding children when it's not an emergency.
Don't use 911.
We're actually in the process right now of determining if we should send police on each and every one of these, or can they be handled over the telephone.
This is 911. Do you have an emergency?
But expectations for immediate response are high. A recent episode of Rescue 911 inspired Melissa of Minneapolis to call police. A sore knee, she said, on her 14th wasted trip to the hospital in 2 months.
How many times a week do you think you called us?
I don't know.
What do you think? Once, twice, 3 times a week?
3 times a week.
The public has become addicted to calling the police, and like any other addiction, I suppose we can say, just say no to calling 911.
The temperature's going to drop down in the 20s. You can't sit out in the cold.
But as a matter of policy, no one is willing to say no, even to an old man with cold hands.
We don't turn them down. They know that we can't turn them down.
It's the curse of 911, a victim of its own success, a system aimed at saving lives, now faced with rescuing its own. Frank Courier, CBS News, Indianapolis.